edition of Under the Radar. It's actually our Tribeca Film Festival edition, and we'll be covering a bunch of films later today. But first, I want to welcome actor, comedian, author, and wrestling announcer, Michael Scott. Hello, Michael.
Hey. How you doing? How you doing, everybody?
I love it. It's great.
I haven't seen you in so
I know,
long.
it's been like-
not much.
You know, we went on vacation to San Francisco, and you never called me, damn it. And I was looking for you, and I'm so glad I found you.
Nice.
By the way, you still owe me $20 for dinner. Just saying.
Yeah, come on. It's a business. So, Michael, thank you for sticking around. I know you were just on Evan Ginsberg's show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I really appreciate you having me here for this kind of money. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Get some coffee out of it.
You got some coffee out of it. Payment is coffee.
Yeah.
I'll do damn near anything but sexual acts for coffee.
Oh, God. So, you've been on Evan's show not only here in this studio, but also at Madhouse TV, right?
Yeah, that's where we first met. I think
Yeah.
at Madhouse TV. I did one show there. And
Just the one?
I just did the one in my Barney shirt.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Barney the Dinosaur?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
It's just not as creepy and did not kind of look like a child molester, but it was really good.
I'm sure it went over well.
I guess it did.
Yeah.
In the 6 to 10 range.
Yeah, okay. So, tell us a little bit about your work. I know, honestly, I know very little about you, but I want to know a lot more.
It's okay, so do my parents.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem. I was raised by a poor black family. No,
the jerk.
the jerk. I am one of those, sir. No, I'm an actor, comedian, former porn star, stripper, pro wrestling guy.
Nice.
I've been in pro wrestling. I've been around pro wrestling for over 30 years.
Wow.
I'm retired now from pro wrestling. I kind of do. I do teach seminars now in different places of my friends that feel lonely and just want me to hang around. And I teach kids how to have character development and how to be real in what they're doing.
So you're a mentor, a role model.
I wouldn't. No.
Wouldn't go that far.
No. Unless your role model likes cocaine and hookers. I'm kidding, honey. Honey, it's a joke. My wife's watching this. Honey, I love you.
Oh, that's fun.
What's your name again? No, I love you.
So I'm curious. You've got a great name, Michael Scott.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I'm going.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
There was a show a couple years ago.
Never heard this.
Never heard of it.
Popular, yeah.
Never heard of that guy.
How often do you get stopped on the street or?
All the time.
What have
In
you?
fact,
Your
that's
name.
why I keep it, because this is a swear to God, hand to Christ story. I never even knew the character stinking existed until I was looking for an anniversary card for my wife at Hallmark. And I saw a card that said, "From the desk of Michael Scott."
Oh my God.
And I was like, huh.
You like this?
That is.
We need to discuss. So then I found out about the character, and then my wife gets upset because girls will stop me. Oh my God, your name is Michael Scott. Can I have an autograph? And I'm like, sure. Go away.
Did you ever watch The Office?
I did. I watched it a little bit. Oh, it's a funny show. Steve Carell was like one of my comedy heroes. He is very funny. He's a great actor. I mean, you look at that. You look at The 40-Year-Old Virgin. You look at Evan Almighty, and then you look at Foxtrot, Foxchase,
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher.
Awesome movie.
And then you look at The Way Back, and it's like
Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine, and it's like A Friend to the End of the World. So
that was a random
that was a random one, but they're just great movies. He's just an all-around really good actor.
Yeah, he is. He's great. Also, last year, the Battle of the Sexes.
Yes.
Awesome.
I actually saw something on the original story of that.
Okay.
And I really have not seen the movie, but those are just two great actors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And I think Emma Stone deserved the Oscar for that rather than La La Land, personally. But
I think all that stuff is corporate.
yeah,
It's just bull. We ain't gonna cuss on this show.
it's okay. Mild cursing is. We're PG-13.
PG-13. Okay, cool.
R rating.
Awesome.
Yeah.
PG-13. That means we have violence and nudity. I mean, PG-13 has changed a
nudity
lot
is
compared to when we were kids.
But you can't talk about butt stuff.
Yeah.
That just sends you into the R rating right there.
There you go. So Tell us a little bit. What have you been in? What have you acted in?
I did a short film called Live, where I played a detective, and
See that.
I played a detective and a homeless man, which was not a stretch.
In the same movie?
In the same movie.
Wow.
A wig and dirt
Yeah.
can change you.
Can go a long way.
It can really just change your acting career.
Cool.
I'm also an audiobook narrator. I'm on my 9th audiobook now as we speak.
Whoa.
I've done a lot of stuff. Some of them are really good.
So you're the next Morgan Freeman?
No. I mean, I would love to be. I would love his money.
Yeah.
But I meant, but I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of the impression that, my mother-in-law will hate this saying because I say it all the time. She goes, "You're so full of yourself, Michael." But the realization is that we are all. I'm gonna lay some theory on you that we all are our own individual beings. Like God broke the mold when He made every single one of us. So I'm not Morgan Freeman in a lot of different ways, just not because of the color of my skin, and I have brown hair and he has gray. But
everything else is the same.
Everything else is from the waist down. We're there. So like I'm saying, wow.
Didn't expect that one. Okay.
Coffee. It's the comedy juices.
So what about comedy? What is it about comedy that fascinates you so?
I love that reaction. I just love to make people happy, and I love to make people smile. And my life is pretty funny.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Okay.
Just of all the crazy stuff that kind of just happens. You know what I mean? And the stories that you get from that.
Have you done open mics?
I have done some open mics in
Nice.
Delaware. I did some in Alaska. I used to live in Alaska.
Huh.
And I did a religious comedy show. It didn't go over so well. But because you start talking about, things like getting a whooping, your ass falling off. And that Jesus don't appreciate that.
No.
But I sure did. So, those kind of things.
So they didn't appreciate that type of humor?
No, they did not. That was the wrong place.
Oh.
Yeah,
You
that's
didn't
like
know
trying.
going in, the venue?
No, I didn't. I didn't think about it. Still very new. I guess it's trying to do a ventriloquist act at a strip club. But yeah.
Okay. Oh, now you know.
Now I know,
Live
and
and
so
learn.
yeah, preachers don't have me. I'm just saying, I'll be bad for the congregation.
So now, what about wrestling? What is it about wrestling that fascinates you?
I have always been drawn to wrestling. Since I was a child, growing up, the larger than life characters, again, it's the emotion. Everything about me is emotion. I do comedy because it's an emotion that you get. Wrestling, I love to make people feel that feeling that I have at the time. If I really don't like you, I want to make it that they really don't like you because that's my job.
So were you more of a villain?
I was a villain in Atlanta.
Oh.
That was fun. It's always easier being the villain than it is to be the hero.
Right.
Even though the hero you can play with that, but usually when you're the villain,
Yeah, it's more fun.
it's a whole lot more fun. You can tell that old lady to sit her old ass down, or I'll slap your dentures out of your mouth, and you can learn. We learned how to cuss in another language. The language of the crowd that was in the thing.
All right. Where was this?
This is in Atlanta.
Okay.
And we would say, we were like, blah, 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 whatever the words were. And man, they just get all upset. But that's always fun. That's the fun,
To elicit that kind of reaction.
Yeah, to
passion.
get that. This is the reaction and the feeling.
So did you go by a different name?
I've always gone by, in the beginning, I was Sensational Scott Michaels. Big stretch there.
Wasn't there a Scott Michaels also a wrestler?
There was
Brett
a Shawn Michaels.
Shawn and a Brett.
And Brett is actually a singer.
Okay.
But Shawn, yeah.
I'm
He
not
had this
wrestling
little
it.
band, don't know if you ever heard it, called Poison. Yeah. So.
That was Alice Cooper did a song called Poison.
Yeah, he
Random.
did. Yeah, it was very random. But yeah, so.
Anyway,
What the hell? It's live TV. Let's go with
do
it.
it. All right. Just go with it. Just go with it. So that leads me to my next question. What do you think? What in your mind makes a good performer?
You have a good performer is the same thing in all aspects. You have to be able to capture the crowd's attention, whether you're paying a movie ticket to paying to see a stage show, paying to see a comic, anything that involves the word paying, you have to give them their money's worth.
That's true.
Or, because again, when you pay to see a stage show, which is a total different crowd than a wrestling show, but if you pay to see a wrestling show, sometimes that's the only money you have left. Like, I'm not eating today because I want to see you kick his ass. And so you have to always have that in the back of your mind that these people don't have anything and they're paying money that they don't have that could have went to their late child support payments or whatever, and they're come to see you, and so entertain them. And I think if you always go in that mind, you always appeal to the lowest common denominator in every aspect, you'll get somewhere, because at some point you're going to affect them.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I had a similar situation happen this week. I paid to go see the 25th anniversary of Schindler's List.
Yes.
Wow. And Spielberg was there, Liam Neeson, Ben Kingsley. I didn't pay to see the movie. I paid to see Spielberg in person.
Name drop.
Yeah. It was great. It was sort of a performance because he was on stage. He was talking about his experience on the film. But you pay to see the performer and what they have to offer.
Right.
So, and I commend you on doing that. That's your life.
It is my life. I
to
love
go up
it.
there and entertain the masses. That's hard
It's
work.
hard.
It is hard, but sometimes you get magic, and when you get magic, it's hard to give up the magic. There's always a torch that has to be passed to the next guy and say, okay, we're going to do this thing, and you have a connection that will always remain. Like in wrestling, you look at like Dusty Rhodes, who's now passed away, and Ric Flair, or Dusty Rhodes and Terry Funk. If Dusty Rhodes was alive today, and Terry Funk, who is still alive today, how, I have no idea. And Ric Flair, how, I definitely have no idea. I believe that the last 3 people on Earth is going to be Ric Flair, Keith Richards, and a cockroach.
That'd be a great movie.
That would be a great movie called Holy Crap, You're Still Living.
What are we going to do now?
What's next? They'll find something to screw. But but you would still, if you saw a car, Terry Funk versus Dusty Rhodes in a cage, even at 80, you would still pay $20 to go see it because there's magic there.
Yeah.
And it's a lasting magic.
Yeah.
And that's what any performer wants.
Exactly. It's a lifelong thing, like a dream to see your idol on stage in person.
Yes.
Like, again, I'm going back to the Beacon Theater, which is where I was.
Yeah.
Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Oh my God.
They're going to do comedy and music next Friday and Saturday.
They came to Bethlehem, and I didn't get a chance to go. I told the wife I really want to go see this because I'm a big Steve Martin fan.
Yeah.
Steve Martin, his comedy was amazing. And it was the dumbest. But it just goes to show you how you can, something very simple, we don't need anything elaborate. Something as minute as walking on stage with a banjo and an arrow in your head. Slays them.
It's like arrow did it.
It's like, or taking the banjo and playing, and it's all of a sudden you just go, it's
he's good.
Yeah, so I'm good.
Yeah.
There's that kind of stuff.
That's great. Now, with voice acting, is there a secret, or do you have to channel some inner strength? What's the process?
There's a secret. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
There is. It is hard. It is extreme. And I've done stand up. I've done improv. I've done stage. I've done the TV stuff, the film stuff. Doing voice acting is tough. Like me and this guy named Scott Parkin, who is an actor out of California, and I've been going for him for coaching for some stuff because he's like the king of a certain style that's very popular right now.
Like a Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And so I go to him, and we and him had a conversation, and he said to me, he goes, when you were in front of people, you were spot on. But then you get by yourself, and it's just you and the microphone, and you can't duplicate what you did in front of people because there's no energy. Okay. So the key is to be able to channel the energy by yourself that you had when there's other people in the room.
So kind of imagine that there's people watching you.
Yes.
Okay.
So do lots of drugs. No. But it's you have to imagine yourself in a space where you're talking to people. Mm-hmm. You know, because this little microphone, it reaches, like right now, you know, we're reaching all of Long Island and all over the world because we are on Facebook.
We are.
And same thing when you cut a spot, you know, a commercial. You hear it on your radio. You hear it in the car, on the television. So in reality, you are in front of like 1 million people.
Yeah, that's cool.
All alone in your little basement. Wow.
It's awesome. The power of voice.
The power of voice.
So I'm curious, Michael.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite movies of all time?
I have the weirdest lists of movies.
The weirder the better.
The weirder the better. I am a fan of horror and comedy.
Nice.
I love horror. I love comedy. And when I talk horror, I'm not talking the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not talking The Hills Have Eyes, The House to the Left, Last House on the Left, Halloween.
Yeah.
I love the old movies. One of my favorite movies is House of Frankenstein. I watch House of Frankenstein every Halloween. The other movie I watch every Halloween is I watch Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Nice. You don't do the De Niro Frankenstein, do you?
No, I saw it. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was more.
It was
that
weird.
was based on the book.
Yeah.
That was like straight up with the book. That's all. And I've read the book. Hell, I knew so much about the book in the 6th grade. I helped teach the book. So but you know what I mean.
You like the classics.
I love the classics. Porky's is one of my all-time favorites. Let me tell you something about Porky's. If it doesn't matter what kind of craptastic day I'm having, if I go home and I'm just having a really perp day, I will think of the scene in Porky's when they got Pee-wee and they said, we got this girl, and Pee-wee said, awesome, I gotta go home and warm up. And that just puts a smile on my face.
You know, I've never actually seen Porky.
Is that really?
I
Dude,
know.
Next time I'm in the studio.
Isn't this the film show?
I know.
This is.
Porky's. I gotta see it.
I'm telling you. I'm saying it now in front of you, God, my mother, who's probably not watching this, but it's okay. I am saying this now. I am going to bring a copy of Porky's, and we're going to hang.
I love it. Do a little screening?
We'll do a screening of Porky's. Let me tell you a story about Porky's. When I was a kid, that was a rite of passage in my house.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you had to watch it. You had to watch it.
Wasn't it like the American Pie of the 80s?
It was the American Pie of the 80s. In fact, it was actually funnier than the
Yeah.
American Pie. If you like irreverent pecker ball jokes and just sex jokes.
I know that tallywhacker.
It's got a mold on it. I know that tallywhacker anywhere.
Jim, I don't think you've ever quoted anything on the show before.
That's the best one, bro.
See, when I come, history happens.
There you
Randy.
go.
History happens.
Awesome. So, are there any actors, comedians, voiceover artists who have inspired you?
Yeah. I mean, you look at Don Rickles.
Oh my God, yes.
Don Rickles, Sam Kinison. I love Sam Kinison. In fact, I was listening to him and Henny. Believe it or not, I was listening to Henny Youngman on the way up here because you got to get in that mind space doing these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, because then you're just some other schlub. You're like, well, I don't know what to say. So you have to kind of get in the mind space of where you want to be and what kind of where you think the show's going to go. It kind of gets flip that switch on.
Yeah.
I
hear you.
Randy, Richard Pryor, a lot of the old guys, voice actors. I have got a man crush, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yes.
I have a man crush for Will Patton. If you've
The
ever heard the actor, if you have
From Armageddon?
yes, if
He's
you have
good.
ever heard Will Patton do a Stephen King novel, it would change your life.
Wait, he did an audiobook?
He does a lot of Stephen King stuff now.
No kidding.
He did Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. He did the Bill Hodges trilogy, which I just got through listening to. Because I do audiobooks, I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Nice. So
So that I can go, I'm going to steal that shit, and I'm going to steal that crap, and I'm going to steal that too. And you're going to be okay with it because you don't even know who the hell I am. But I listen to it to learn. You know what I mean? And the way he just does it is like,
he's great.
I can listen to people and it's like, this sucks.
He was good.
But the guy's
He
good.
was in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
Like he was like morally ambiguous. Like you didn't know if he was a bad guy or if he was helping out
Right.
Paige. but he's a talented actor.
Yeah.
It's a good interest. That's a very random actor to reference.
Yeah, I know, but just because I love his work on the audiobook side,
Nice.
doing the Stephen King stuff, and if you ever get a chance, man, the Bill Hodges trilogy, it's great. I absolutely, but you gotta listen to like I listened to like boom, 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 like all three back to back, like the first book, the second book, the third book, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I see where the story's going. And the way he just told it was just impeccable. It was really good.
Cool.
If you're watching this, I love you, but not in a gay way.
So we only have about a minute or so,
Cool.
unfortunately.
fine.
What do you have to plug? What's
Um,
coming up for Michael Scott?
Well, lots coming up. Of course, we talked about on the Evans show. I'll talk about it here, just because repetition puts it in your mind more. I got 3 audiobooks coming out. Dining by Ty Schwamberger. I'm doing the narration on that. And the Yesterday Christ and the Yesterday Christ Genesis by Jeff Coulter. They're Christian science fiction books.
Random.
I just finished Little Jeffrey for Jeff Coulter. I did a couple of affirmation books, 44 Master Affirmations by Jasmine Ferry, Heal Your Life by Jasmine Ferry. I felt very pretty when I got done, and I was going to be the next richest man in the world. You can also find me on Facebook and see all the videos and stuff. I know that we are working on, me and some stand-up comedy friends are talking about some ideas for doing a little show.
Okay.
Just me and them getting together and just riffing.
Okay.
No script. Just
Kind of. Is it going to be like in front of a state, like a screen, like Mystery Science Theater 3000?
no.
Okay.
I would love to do that
That would
because
be, I can see you doing that.
I do that kind of stuff. I love
Just
doing
for
it.
fun.
Yeah, just for fun. I'll just start riffing on a movie that sucks. But just talking about the world and the everything from. With me, there's no filter. I can talk about everything, and if I can't figure it out or if I don't know about it, I'll bullshit my way through it. So it'll work.
Good. You make it work.
Yeah, that's how it works, man. Thanks for the coffee, by the way. It's delicious.
Of course.
Randy Younger's got some good damn coffee.
There you go. It's not Burger King. But Michael, I want to thank you so much for today.
Thank you
It's
so
been amazing.
much.
I hope to have you again on real soon.
We'll do it.
All right, cool. All right, guys, so we're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with our Tribeca Film Festival roundup. We'll be right back, guys. And we're back, guys. Welcome back to Under the Radar. I'm Randy Unger, your host for today, and this is our special Tribeca Film Festival segment. And I've got with me two very talented critics today. Ms. Karen Benardello, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me again.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a few months.
Yeah, and you were actually one of my very first guests.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for returning.
Thanks for having me back. Yeah, it's been fun. So yeah, I was looking forward to coming back for the Tribeca edition. So yeah.
It's good. And new to the couch, Mr. Mateo Moreno. Hello, sir.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course.
So let's try to get through this as quickly as possible because we got a lot of movies to cover. We're going to do our top 5 list. We're going to count down from 5. Ladies first, you're from number 5.
I probably have to go, I wrote a list, so, my first one, I started, was Mary Shelley. Kind of fits into, the site I write for is a lot of, genre stuff, so it's kind of, about the author of Frankenstein, the novel and everything, so I got to, interview the director a few days ago, so I thought that was, an interesting, take on Elle Fanning plays the author, so I thought that was really interesting how it was about this female character from the 1800s or so. So I thought that was really interesting.
It was a very interesting take. I really enjoyed Elle Fanning's performance. I thought it's among the best of the films I've seen at the festival. So that could knock out number 2 for me. I thought it was a great film. Very well acted. Very true. I mean, I didn't grow up in the 1800s, but I'm pretty sure that's how it looked. So it was very authentic in that respect, and I appreciated that. Very attention to detail,
Yeah, they were we were talking about how they filmed throughout Europe and the costumes and everything were really a lot of the attention to detail. They were really interested in that and the production design. So
the costumes.
Yeah.
Mateo, what did you think of Mary Shelley?
I thought it was great. I was lucky enough I saw a good deal of films this year.
Yeah.
I saw around 38 or so.
That's insane.
Which is
it's awesome. But
yeah,
really.
I'll sleep next week.
Yeah.
But year to year and festival to festival, you can love all the films, you can not love all the films, and I've had a lot of really good luck this year with a lot of great stuff. Mary Shelley was great. Cinematography was beautiful. It didn't make my top 5, but it was a very, very good film. I would say probably my number 5 would be Jonathan, which was a really intriguing sci-fi drama with Ansel Elgort.
From Baby Driver, right?
From Baby Driver, yeah. He was great in Baby Driver as well. And it's going to be interesting how they market this movie because I think the less you know about it, the better, which I will try not to give too many spoilers here, but it's he plays a very kind of buttoned up businessman. He does his daily routine, he goes to his job, he eats alone, and he leaves messages for his roommate who is a night owl who is named John. And they both share the same therapist, and they both have a very strict routine, and when John, the nighttime roommate, breaks it, it kind of changes all of their lives. And when I say sci-fi, it is truly a sci-fi movie.
Okay.
But
it's
it's
thriller more.
Yeah, it has those thriller elements, and I'm purposely not saying the sci-fi elements because, but like I say, the marketing is going to be interesting because 15 minutes into it has its first sort of spoiler. So it's but it's really good. It's great. He's incredible in it. And a very nuanced performance, and Patricia Clarkson plays the and always
she's always good. Yeah,
she's the doctor.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd say my number 5 would be Cargo, and I actually interviewed the directors and producer for this one. Basically, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic Australia, where Martin Freeman plays a father who basically he's carrying his baby on his back, trying to find just a village, someone to help him. Basically, they don't really emphasize the zombie element, but it's there. It's not really a zombie film. It's more of a thriller set in Australia, and you've got Martin Freeman, who's I don't think I've ever seen him in a bad performance.
He's incredible. He really is good.
Really talented.
Yeah, and he's very good in this.
And he's not classically good looking. He's like an average Joe, you know. So I appreciated his performance. I think we're up to number 4. Karen?
So my number 4 pick was a movie called Obey. This was another one I did some interviews for, with the director and some of the actors. about like the riots in London like about a decade ago or so, and it's kind of like about like some young adults and they're finding like their relationships and where they fit in and just trying to find like a way to like really make a name for themselves. And I thought this was like an interesting kind of like true to life drama overall, and like the cast seemed really like into it, really interested because they were all like British from the area where they filmed and everything, and really knew what happened like when they were like growing up. So like
any notable stars?
No one really like big like over here. It was like a lot of up and comers from like England and stuff.
Okay.
So, but they were all really like nice and really like into like the film overall. So yeah, like that just really like stood out because they were really like, well, I think like soon coming up they'll be like kind of be coming over here and everything. So it was like really an interesting one. So that kind of stood out.
Would you call it a drama?
It was kind of like a drama, thriller, kind of mix of like political drama overall. So
Cool, I'll check that out. Number 4, Mateo.
No, number 4. I didn't get to see Obey. Sadly, that was on my list. I didn't get to see that. I did see Little Woods. Which won the Nora Ephron Award this year. The director Nia DaCosta, she wrote it as well. And it's a really, really searing drama. Tessa Thompson is in it, and she plays a girl. Oh, hey,
Hey now.
there's Siri talking. Okay.
She wants to join in.
She did. She wouldn't stop during Tribeca. She wanted a press pass. She didn't get one, unfortunately. Tessa Thompson, yeah, she is on probation. She's living in a small town in North Dakota. Sold prescription drugs and ran them across Canada and got caught. And now she's trying to put her life back together. Her mother dies and sort of brings in her estranged sister and her deadbeat ex-boyfriend.
Is this a true story?
This is not a true story, as far as to my knowledge, but it is really, Tessa is incredible in it. It's a very nuanced performance, very layered, and really almost plays like a thriller in some scenes because you literally are just hoping that she doesn't do the wrong thing, and the wrong thing keeps happening. It's very, very good. Little Woods, though. I think it's got a very bright future outside the fest.
All right. Is that my number 4?
Yeah.
Okay. I think some of you may have seen this, Duck Butter. It's a lesbian romantic dramedy, I want to say, which has really great performances from Aaliyah Shawkat from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And Leia Costa, who
Yeah.
I've never seen her before, but together their chemistry was electric. The performances were terrific. The story was, you've seen it before. Kind of like, will they, won't they? It's kind of a rocky relationship that it's basically, it doesn't really go anywhere really. It's just about the performances, and it's a movie that stays in the moment.
I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah. And Aaliyah?
Aaliyah, or I think it's Aaliyah.
Aaliyah? We'll say Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Sorry if we're butchering all the names. Ansel
It's
as well.
maybe Bluth
Sure I
from
didn't
Arrested
pronounce.
Development.
Yes, maybe Bluth. She won the Best Actress award as
She
well.
did, yeah,
At
yeah.
the and
I mean, it was good. It's great.
she's great, and her
Yeah.
co-star was also in Maine this year. She was in 2 films, but both of them, yeah, I really, really liked it.
Karen, did you see Duck Butter?
I had wanted to, but I hadn't gotten a chance. But like I heard about how she won the award,
Yeah.
so that kind of made me want to go
Curious,
see it.
right?
Yeah,
It's worthwhile.
Yeah,
I mean, it's okay. Number 3, Karen.
This was another like based on a true story. Stockholm. I got to interview the director, and stars like Ethan Hawke, and I've interviewed him a few times. So I was really interested to see like what this was about. It was like about like the bank robbery, like, and kind of like helped coin the phrase like Stockholm syndrome and everything, when like the people who worked in the bank kind of like
The hostages, they flip their emotions and like form some kind of bond with the captor.
Yeah. So, I thought it was really like interesting. Like I was speaking with the director as well. He was also talking about like the attention to detail, like the research aspect, and they actually filmed in like Stockholm, and so I thought that was like pretty interesting. So this one kind of stood out as well for me.
It was sort of like a lighthearted Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
It really felt like that movie, which is a phenomenally better movie in my opinion. This is one of my honorable mentions, Stockholm, but I was not blown away by it at all. I thought Ethan Hawke was chewing up the scenery. He was over the top. That was okay, and you got Mark Strong, who really didn't say much. He had a nice long-haired wig, and
There's some good wig action in
There
this
is.
this
There
movie. Yeah,
but I think the standout for me, Numi Rapis,
yeah,
excellent performance from
yeah.
her.
She is. Every time I see her, she's getting better and better.
Yeah.
She's just.
She was in Bright, the Will
She was,
Smith
uh-huh.
Netflix movie.
She was in Bright. She's the original girl with the dragon tattoo.
Oh, really?
The Swedish version.
Okay, I have to check that out.
She's great.
I saw the David Fincher version.
Which is also good, but the original 3 Swedish versions are great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What are we up to? Is this your number 3, Mateo?
Yeah. My number 3 is Jason Reitman's new film, Tully.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's fantastic. It's really, really good. It comes out in a couple weeks. And Diablo Cody wrote the script, and it's their third collaboration after Juno and Young Adult.
Nice.
It has Charlize Theron, and she plays a mother of 2 who's pregnant with her
gained weight
third.
for this role, right?
She did. She gained weight, and she is has her third child and sort of spirals into what looks like another depression. She kind of had a depression after her first child, and her brother sees that. Her husband works a lot, and so he suggests a night nanny, which is what they've been using. And so she hires this girl named Tully, who comes in and is this very free-spirited, full of love, full of hope, without ever being cloying and annoying. And it's about their relationship and what happens. And I think what's really magical about this is that we see a lot of movies about motherhood and the joy that a child brings, but not a lot of movies about postpartum depression that comes with sometimes motherhood and the fact that you are giving your life to this child and your life is over, and maybe you resent that a little bit, which is very real and something that obviously I'm not a mother, but I know a lot of friends of mine have talked about, and it doesn't mean you love your child any less or you don't want a child, but it's tough. It's literally the toughest job in the world is being a mother. And it handles it with a lot of really sharp comedy. Charlize is incredible. She's really, really funny in this.
Nice.
There was a strange talkback afterwards where the moderator kept on calling her not funny, and it was kind of a bizarre thing to say, but she is very funny, very satirical. And it's a dark comedy by all accounts, but very good. I think it's going to get a lot of attention.
I love Charlize. She was great in a Young Adult.
Yeah.
And she was in this movie came out about a month or 2 ago called Gringo.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah,
that was a really fun movie. Yeah.
Decent. I wish I saw more of her actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. This is kind of, I felt like it feels like kind of a spiritual follow-up to Young Adult in ways. Like, it not story-wise, but sort of like the next chapter of all of these people growing together.
It's the same writer too?
Same writer, same director, and same star.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Karen, did you do number 3? Or we have to...
Yeah, I think I was up to number 2.
Okay,
so,
okay.
For my second pick was a movie called OG, and another one I got to interview like the director and a couple of the actors, and
Nice.
Jeffrey Wright actually won Best Actor for this one, and
he's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
and like he's supposed to be playing a prisoner. They actually filmed in a real like prison overall, and had like some of the real life people who were in the jail like actually in the film as like supporting characters, and just about him trying to like come to terms with like being released from prison, and it was really interesting. Like,
Nice.
and they had like the director also like filmed the documentary also at the same time as the feature, kind of like showing what their real life was like while they're actually like filming in the prison. So I thought that was really like intense, and it's kind of like really stood out for. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'll check that out. Speaking of prison films, there was one of my honorable mentions is called Dead Women Walking. Basically, it tells the story of like 9 different female prisoners on death row and the hours and minutes leading up to each of their impending doom. It felt like a documentary, but I think it was a narrative feature, and it was just very powerful. And any films about prisoners and especially death row are going to elicit an emotional response.
I was just talking to a friend of mine who was raving about it.
Yeah.
Just said it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to fit it in my schedule.
Yeah.
But
It's worthwhile.
I heard it's really incredible. And I really liked OG as well. That was in my honorable mention. Jeffrey Wright is stunning in it, as always. And just the filmmaking of it. That is another one that it almost could... It has that documentary quality because it feels like you're literally just fly on the wall in his life. It's really nice.
cool. So I think we skipped over my number 3.
Oh.
Karen, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm pretty sure Mateo, you saw To Dust.
Yeah, I did.
This was a strange one. I actually really, really enjoyed it. Basically, it's about a Hasidic Jewish man played by Geza Roig. Yeah,
That sounds good.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, I doubt if he's listening today, so I think he's good.
You never know. He plays a Hasidic Jewish man whose wife has just passed away, and they bury her. And this man is obsessed with her body and decomposition because he wants to be at peace. He wants to know that is her body gonna be whatever. It's like a weird wants to come to terms with death, and it was very strange. But he was phenomenal as a Hasidic Jewish man. Geza Roig. He actually befriends a biology professor from college to basically learn about the process of decomposition, and together they dig up bodies, they do experiments, and the professor is actually played by Matthew Broderick. Very strange movie, very interesting sense of humor. It's very dark comedy.
Yeah.
But I liked it a lot.
I did too.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre film.
It is. Who thought of this?
Yeah, it's
Very.
just every beat of it. Like you really are not sure quite where they're going with it. But it all works. It may not be everyone's cup of tea. It is a very kind of perhaps a acquired taste
It's
of
quirky.
a film. It's very quirky and strange and dark, and
Yeah.
but it's a really beautiful. We talk about wanting original films, and this is truly feels like an original voice in a film.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And that'll segue into my number 1. But first, we'll go with Karen's number 2 or 3. What do you, or you want?
I still have a number 2 as well.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have a number 2, please.
I'm sorry, guys. It's hard to keep track.
No, it's okay. Numbers are hard.
Yeah. I'm a word man.
Yeah, so OG was actually my second pick. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then my number 2 is Disobedience.
Okay.
Which is an incredible film that came out actually limited release this past Friday.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
No, this has Rachel Weisz and Rachel McAdams and Alexandra Devolo. And it is about a New York photographer, Rachel Weisz, and she finds out her rabbi father has passed away, and so she returns back to the very small, close-knit Hasidic Jewish community that she grew up in and left when she broke away from the religion. And 2 of her best friends, which are Alexander and Rachel McAdams, there were like the 3 trios, and now they have married, and Rachel Weisz is sort of this outsider, but you very quickly see that a romance between Rachel McAdams and Rachel Weisz happened before they left, and it is reignited when she returns. So not only is this about a girl that didn't get to say goodbye to her father, but also lost her religion and lost her community, and now is in a forbidden relationship.
Right.
It's stunning. It's really, really beautiful. It's a powerful message. It's not a film that puts any judgment on anything. There's obviously an acceptance of like this is not a wrong thing that these 2 women love each other, but it never plays against like the Orthodox community is a bad thing. It is just a story of this lives and what happens when these 2 people who fell in love in a very, very different society than we all live in.
Wow.
It's beautiful though, and I highly recommend it. It's in theaters now, at least in New York and LA, to check it out.
That and the OG, they sound like phenomenal films.
Yeah. I mean, again, this year was really good. I mean, even I think there were 2 altogether that I was like run away from these films forever. But even the ones that like, other than that, there was like some I liked, some I really didn't like, but it was a really great year for Tribeca.
Are we up to our number 1s?
I think so. Yeah.
And Karen, I think you were at the same screening as me for this. This is my number. Song of Back and Neck.
Yep, I saw it at the same time as you as well. Yeah.
Another strange one. Not as strange as To Dust, not as macabre, but this was a fun one. Also quirky and zany. Paul Lieberstein, actually, Toby from The Office. He actually pulls triple duty here as writer, director, and star as a man with chronic neck and back pain who goes to an acupuncturist they put the needles in his back and his neck, and for some reason they start to make sounds like music, and then he starts performing in bars and like open mics with his back needles. And along the way, he meets this woman who he's in a business relationship with. A romantic spark begins, and this is a strange one. Karen, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I actually got to interview like Paul during the festival.
Did?
Yeah, so
that's great.
he was like pretty interesting. Like he was talking about like how it's kind of like based on some of his own experiences, and he wrote a book about it, and kind of like just like how he really like enjoyed bringing the story to film and everything. And I thought it was really interesting too. Like just overall, it was really like unique, and to like really see like a different side of people's life, like maybe everything's not working like as well as they expected, so like it was really interesting.
It's kind of your typical like average guy meets a girl, his life kind of turns around, but the way they did it, I think his direction really made it different, so I'm really grateful for it. I think this was his debut as a director.
I think so.
That's awesome. Did you see it?
I didn't, unfortunately. I really wanted to. I like Paul a lot, and I've heard really good things about it. And I also do love a strange comedy, and that's what it sounded like. Even strange. I didn't realize it was music. He was playing music with his back.
It's so weird.
But it's again one of those films that just crossed with other films that I was seeing, and I wasn't able to fit it in. But I wish I did. I will definitely check it out.
Yeah.
When it gets released.
I mean, there's movies you reviewed that I didn't see.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're all like kind of in the same boat of all these Tribeca films floating around and we're trying to grab at them. But this was an excellent year. Yeah. And that should move into our honorable mentions.
Well, I think we still have our number one.
Oh, do we? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. Song of Back and Neck was my number one. Karen.
So I really like that one as well. And then there's another one that was kind of like really like a psychological thriller that I saw. It's called Braid. It's kind of like a true genre film overall. So it kind of like fits into like it's another one that kind of fits my website audience. So it was like a first time like writer director, and she kind of like came up with the idea for like these 3 childhood friends who kind of like 2 of them kind of separate from the third one, who kind of over the years kind of develops like some emotional problems overall. She tries to like keep the friends with her, but they kind of like break off, go into like the city and stuff, and they actually like filmed upstate and stuff in it. So they like braid, yeah. So
like a hair braid,
yeah. Okay. So they like the 2 friends like kind of get into some trouble, like dealing drugs and everything. So they try to like go find their old friend from school to like, because she's like got an inheritance. So like try to like get the money from her, thinking that she's not gonna really notice because like she's kind of lost touch with reality, I guess. So, but then she kind of like pulls them in, and the 3 of them just kind of like break off from society. So it was kind of interesting.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Your description of that is so much better than what I could have. It is a strange film, Braid.
It is, yeah. It is kind of strange,
I don't not like it. I don't know if I do like it. It is probably the most perplexing, like, WTF film that I saw this year. Incredible cinematography. The acting's all really good. It is a kooky ass film. I do know that.
All right.
Yeah, my number one is a film I was really looking forward to that I didn't really know a lot about, other than it was Karen Gillan's directorial debut. She was
Jumanji, right?
She's in Jumanji. Yeah, she's best known for Doctor Who.
Okay.
And she was in Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as the new Avengers movie. She plays Nebula. But the movie is called The Party's Just Beginning, and it is a really like pitch black, dark comedy drama about a girl who is pretty much a hot mess. She spends her days drinking, having meaningless sex, and her best friend has killed himself. And so she's trying to get through the days, and she can't quite get over the fact that he left her. And it's in a small town in the Highlands of Scotland. And Karen actually said that she wrote it because she read this statistic that men have a really much, much higher rate of suicide in Scotland, in the Highlands, and they don't know why. It just keeps happening. So she wrote this film about this friendship that kind of goes wrong and how she can't find a meaningful connection. And she eventually finds one with an out-of-towner, but who's Lee Pace plays it, who's in Pushing Daisies. He's in Angels in America on Broadway right now. But it's great. It reminded me a lot of a film I really liked a few years ago called Adult Life Skills that was at Tribeca that did not get an American distribution, but got a UK one and a successful one at that. It's really great. It's about suicide. It's about loss. It has a lot of really dark comedy. And I think it really proves not only how great of an actress she is, but that she's a very, very skilled director to watch as well.
Some really heavy, dark themes this year. Huh?
It was a really heavy year.
Yeah.
Like I was sad that I didn't get to see Song of Back and Neck, literally because it was one of the few comedies that was. And Braid was at least like a lighthearted, crazy movie. Like everything was like a lot of death and suicide, and
it was a dark year, yeah, for sure. Are we up to our honorable mentions?
I think honorable mentions, yeah.
Okay, Karen.
So yeah, like you mentioned, like Song of Back and Neck was one on my list, and then also there's like a short called The 7/16. I know you mentioned that you saw that. Yeah,
I saw that yesterday actually.
So yeah, I got like a screening link for that before the festival started, and got to interview the director for that one as well.
I didn't know it was a short until yesterday.
Yes.
I thought it was a feature.
So yeah, like I thought beginning, like when I first heard about it, I thought it was a feature as well,
Right.
and then
It's only 16
like
minutes.
I watched it, but I thought it was really cool. It was like interesting, like sci-fi, like kind of like in the future and everything. So
The production value, like the
Yeah.
visual effects were actually really, really good.
yeah, that was like one of the main things like I was talking about. So like that was like really interesting. Like I like the visuals and everything. So
Yeah. The story I didn't like so much, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. It felt a little generic.
yeah,
There's a lot going on. Yeah, they're trying to rescue someone. They're trying to escape a planet. It was just, I don't know.
for like a short film, yeah, like it was like a lot of like characters like involved coming in and
Yeah.
out and everything. But like,
But this is like the first part of, was it a trilogy or?
I think yeah, like they're planning to like follow it up and hopefully make a feature. But
Does it feel
Yeah.
like something that should be a feature? That there's so many storylines and characters that
Yeah, I
it doesn't
think
have
Or a
enough
series,
time?
actually.
Or
Yeah, I-
series.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it would work better if it was like a series
Mm-hmm.
or at least a feature and kind of like really develop everything more. But overall, I think it was like really ambitious, and I like the fact that
Yeah.
like what the director was trying to do. So
Right,
like
yeah.
he wanted to like get the story out, so like it's kind of like good on that. Like
It had like a Firefly feel
Yeah.
to it, you know.
yeah. So,
I don't know. That wasn't on my honorable mentions, but it was okay. Mateo?
One of my, are we doing all of our own? Kind of just breezing through.
We can
Yeah,
breeze
I'll
through
just
them all.
very breeze
Okay.
through another sci-fi that I really liked this year, Zoe. Or
Okay.
Zoe, I'm sorry. I pronounced it Zoe until I saw it. It's pronounced Zoe.
Oh, is it?
With Ewan McGregor.
Oh, cool.
And Rashida Jones and Leah Seydoux. I probably killed that name. But it's a not so distant future where replicants have sort of been created to look very similar to humans.
Okay.
And instead of going the typical sort of Blade Runner route or action thriller, it really delves into relationships and the sadness of being alone. And if we create robot partners for us, does that help things, or does that bring us further and further into like a loneliness of a depression? But it's really, really intriguing.
Huh. So it's like those scenes from in Blade Runner 2049 where Gosling is in his apartment and he has his digital girlfriend.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And it's like exploring that without like the sort of like action of a sci-fi. But I really like that. I would also really recommend United Skates, which is a documentary about the African American adult roller rink skating community. It's really great, very, very exciting.
Cool.
Nico 1988, about Nico who sang with the Velvet Underground, and sort of the end of her life. She was trying to get back her child and had a bad drug addiction, and it's a credible performance.
Another lighthearted film.
Another lighthearted comedy. And An Egg is another
Egg.
one. Egg is felt like a play. It's a couple invited another couple over. One's bohemian, one's rich, and they're pretty awful people, all four of them. But awful in different ways. Really interesting. Christina Hendricks is in it, and it's really great performances about motherhood. They're both of the women are pregnant. and one is having the child herself. One's going through a surrogate. And they're not. They do not get along for very long in the movie, but it is very, very interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Honorable mentions. Karen.
I actually saw Egg as well, and I really like that one as well. And so that was on my list. And another one I got to interview the directors for, and then also I saw Jonathan as well, like you mentioned earlier. I really like that one as well. So those were kind of like the top of my list, kind of like honorable mentions. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
All the movies that were on my honorable mentions was Stockholm and one other mentioned already, but The Man Who Stole Banksy documentary. Did you catch it?
No, I think it's on online library. I'm gonna try to watch it tonight.
Yeah, I watched it last night.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was
Yeah.
really interesting. It was a little long. It was an hour and a half.
Okay.
It was kind of long for a documentary.
Yeah.
But it talked about the business of art and how illegal art is sold legally. So like once it hits the street, it's like up for grabs.
Right.
And basically, it's about a guy who chops it out of the wall with a cement breaker, I don't know what you call that. But and basically he sells it on eBay, and it's just about how just about the art world and how art that is created illegally is sold legally. It's like a weird paradox in a way.
Yeah, it's just the story alone is incredibly interesting, especially someone like Banksy,
Right.
where he's so sort of celebrated and reviled by different communities for creating this beautiful art, but not doing it legally ever. But if you tear it off a wall, you can sell it for legal.
It's
legal.
strange.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
It's compared to like Robin Hood in a way.
Right? Yeah. I think the last one I'll mention very quickly before we go is All About Nina. Was also great, which did have Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it. She plays a stand-up comedian.
She's great.
She's great. She's really funny, really good in this. Her life's a disaster, and so her stand-up is sort of reflecting that. And she meets a guy who kind of changes her perspective on it. Not that actually sounds really bad, that a girl meets a guy and now her life is better. That's not what the movie is about. That sounds terrible. But Common is the guy that she meets, and he has just kind of a different perspective.
That's a strange coupling.
It is a strange coupling, but it works. Common is becoming quite a good actor.
Really?
Yeah, and I wouldn't have.
I don't know. Ever since the Queen Latifah movie he did, Just Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's bad.
Just Right with the W.
Yeah.
What,
I'm not a fan of the man's work.
No. It's understandable. But she moves to LA and she ends up staying with a very hippie couple, and it's really good. It's fun. Yeah.
Right, cool. Well, I just want to wrap up, guys, by asking you, what are you looking forward to seeing in theaters coming out? That's not Tribeca, obviously.
I don't know. I have to think about that.
Okay, you'll come back.
Yeah.
You'll come back.
I just saw Avengers, so
Okay.
that I want to see it again.
Yeah, okay.
Because
I'm going to
a
see
nerd.
that this week. Probably going to review it on the show next Sunday.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm really excited about as far as genres.
Okay.
I want to. I might be saying this name wrong, but the Last Stalin.
The Death of Stalin.
The Death of Stalin.
Yeah.
It's playing at IFC Center right now, and I've heard it's absolutely hilarious. I really want to see it.
It's got Jeffrey Tambor, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Phenomenal cast.
I've heard it's great. Yeah.
So yeah, that's on my list too.
Yeah.
And definitely everything you guys have mentioned today from the Tribeca, that's also on my list. But guys, I want to thank you so much for being here today. Karen, always a pleasure.
Thanks.
Mateo, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Real quick, do you guys want to plug anything? Website, social media?
You can find, starting on Monday, I'll have all my reviews at theartswireweekly.com. I am an actor and a playwright as well. I have a play going up in July called Broken Pieces as part of the Planet Connections Festival. If you go to mateo-moreno.com, you will find more information there.
Cool. I mean, we can talk to you when that comes out.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Karen,
Just like my website again, Shaq. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So I'm kind of working on everything, like all my interviews and reviews from Tribeca. So,
same here. I hear you. It's a process.
Yeah.
But guys, again.
Thank